What is wholesaling? I know you've heard about it. Well, in this episode, guys, I'm going to dive into the basics on what wholesaling is all about. See you soon. YouTube. This is Sean Young, also known as Supreme, with another episode of Adventures in Wholesaling. Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well out there, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Adventures in Wholesaling. Today, guys, I wanted to dive into what is wholesaling. A lot of people, I think you need to understand just what the basics of what wholesaling is before you get into it, so that you really know what it actually is. Wholesaling in a nutshell, guys, is the art of finding deeply discounted properties and that are off market. That's the art of wholesaling, finding those properties, getting them under contract, and then selling your contract to your end buyer. That's basically the art of wholesaling in a nutshell. I don't want you guys to complicate it and make this more confusing than it is. Wholesaling is somewhat like it's like a pawn shop, so to speak. I want you to kind of look at it like a pawn shop, because a lot of people kind of really, they can't get it in their head like why someone would sell a $200,000 house for $100,000 or for $80,000. It's just hard to wrap your head around that sometimes, or that concept. So that's why I said I want you to think of it as a pawn shop. In a pawn shop situation, people are motivated. That's why people usually go to a pawn shop to sell things, is because they have a motivation to do so. So when they go into a pawn shop, they might have let's say a wedding ring. I would hate to have someone sell their wedding rings out there, but it happens, guys. People are in motivated situations where they need money, they need it fast, and they need to do what they have to do. So they might sell, let's just say, a wedding ring, or an old guitar that was very sentimental to them, but it had high value, and something that maybe they had their favorite guitarist sign or something, something that maybe Prince signed before he passed away, right? So they're saying, hey, this is something that's worth value. Under normal circumstances, I would never sell this guitar, or if I sold it, it would be for a ton of money. But right now, I was just laid off from my job. My son is headed off to college. He needs some money. So I've got to do what I got to do. That's why people go to pawn shops. That's the thinking that they have when they go into a pawn shop. They're motivated. The pawn shop is there to help. So that's where you come in. That's where we come in. We're here to help, guys. And when you really think of it from that standpoint, you're going to start attracting deals. If you go at it from a perspective of you're chasing money and chasing after deals, it's going to be tough, and the deals are going to run away from you. It's just like when you run away, a dog will chase you. So you don't want to be chasing after these deals or pushing people. You want to really have them come to you and almost pull away, so to speak, and say, even think about this. When you've gone to a pawn shop, if you've ever had to pawn something before, whether you were in a tough predicament or it was just something you wanted to get rid of because it was taking up too much space. And when you go to the pawn shop and they say, well, how much do you want for it, right? That's what they'll usually say. And you say, hey, I want $50 for this old Walkman. For those who don't remember, a Walkman is a device that plays a cassette player. You plug in headphones and you listen to it. Go figure, right? Cassettes, old school stuff, right? So you go sell your Walkman, and you sell it for $50 is what you say you want for it, and they come back and say, they look at it, they say, if we bought a few of these, and right now we could pay you about $3 for it, and you say $3. And then in the back of your mind, you're like, hey, I need to get rid of this thing, so, whatever, I'll sell it. So that's not how it's going to go for a house. I mean, no one's going to sell their house for $3 or a comparable rate. But what I want you to understand is that people are in motivated situations. We are looking for motivated sellers. We're not just looking for people who live in a house. We're not just looking for people who are putting their house out on the market for sale. We're looking for people who are in a distressed situation. They're distressed with either they have a time motivation to sell, they have a financial motivation to sell, or the property itself is distressed. It's run down, They've got code violations that they can't take care of, tax violations. You know, there's a number of different reasons that could make that property or make that seller be in a distressed situation. And remember, guys, that's who we're looking to help, are distressed home sellers. So that's what wholesaling is in a nutshell, guys. You find a property at the deepest discount that you can find off-market properties, get that property under contract so that you can have what's called equitable interest in that property, so that you can market your property to cash buyers out there on the market. So you help your motivated seller, and you're helping your cash buyers find great deals that otherwise they wouldn't have found without you. So you are a valuable asset. This could be a win-win for everybody. Not could, this is how it should be. Every deal should be designed to be a win-win for every party involved. A win-win for the seller, a win for you, and a win for your buyer. And a win for the community, because 9 times out of 10, that buyer's going to come in, renovate that home, beautify it, help other properties around that home, help their value, be raised as well. So we're actually doing a great service for the community, people. We're not just putting money in our pockets. That's just a bonus. So I hope this helps, guys. I had a few minutes while I'm out here in front of my son's school, waiting to pick him up from school. Today is Friday, and these are some of the perks that you have, guys, when you work for yourself. You can take off in the middle of the day. You can take off in the middle of the morning. You're not bound to any type of schedule that your boss wants you to stick to. You be your own boss. Now, of course, you're going to have a schedule, and you're going to have to stick to it, as I've mentioned in a previous video. But it's your schedule. You're making it. You're the boss. So I hope that helps, guys. I've had a few questions out there on exactly what wholesaling is. And I'm not saying that people didn't know what wholesaling is, but I think there was just a little bit of confusion, because there's so many videos out here on real estate investing. There's so many different directions that you could go that it can be very confusing to someone who's brand new to this. You can really get lost in the sauce, so to speak. So I hope that helps. Remember, guys, hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, hit the share button, share this with all your friends and people who you feel like could benefit from this video. Be sure to check back, guys. I'm going to start also dropping videos that are not necessarily related to wholesaling, but they'll be in the realm of positive thinking. They'll be in the realm of maybe current events and how it could affect our market and our business, just to spice things up and add a little bit more content to my channel, guys. But listen, I am nearing the 1,000 subscriber point. I really appreciate everybody out there, and I really appreciate everyone who's taken time to watch my videos. And if you would please subscribe to my channel, help me reach that 1,000 mark point. Help me help more people, because as my motto says, help me, help you, help us all. With that being said, this is Sean Young, also known as Supreme. Peace.
With this crown on my head, I'm seated on the throne. The top is so alone. Only thing that keeps me going is I know my sin.